My topic is microplastics and nanoplastics in bottled water, and I'm focusing on what scientists know about where they come from and whether they might affect human health. I chose this topic because I drink bottled water and I wanted to research this topic deeper because of that, and also because it connects chemistry, environmental pollution, and everyday consumer products. My first article is a peer-reviewed source. It reviews how nano and microplastics get into bottled water, including contamination from the water source, the bottle, the cap, storage conditions, and handling. It also explains why these particles are so hard to measure and why scientists still do not have a clear safety threshold for human exposure. The article says that bottled water can contain microplastics and nanoplastics in a wide range of concentrations, and that smaller particles are especially concerning because they can cross biological barriers more easily. It also emphasizes that the health evidence is still incomplete, but there are signals of possible harm like oxidative stress, inflammation, and effects on the gut and reproductive system and cardiovascular system. Article 2, my NPR source, is a secondary source written for the public, and it explains the current state of microplastics research in a clear way. The article highlights that researchers are finding plastic particles in human tissue and fluids, but the field is still early and scientists are cautious about claiming direct cause and effect. One thing I found interesting is that the NPR article separates the problem into two parts: the plastic particles themselves and the chemicals associated with plastics, like PFAS, phthalates, and BPA. That makes the issue feel bigger than just visible plastic waste because it connects chemistry to possible health outcomes. My third article, the New York Times source, I found interesting because this article reports on research from a University of New Mexico lab that studies how microplastics accumulate in human organs, especially the brain. The article explains that researchers found very high amounts of plastic in tissue samples and are now trying to figure out what those levels might mean for health. This article stood out to me because it shows how scientists are moving from simply detecting plastics to asking what damage, if any, they cause. It also points out an important limitation. Even when plastic is detected, researchers still do not fully know which exposure sources matter most or what dose becomes harmful. Together, these three articles show why microplastics are such an active research topic right now. The peer-reviewed article gives a scientific background, and the the two news articles show how that research is being reported to the public and why it matters.